I got cut off. Something weird happened with my internet. But I'm just gonna kind of finish up. But I don't know what to tell everybody that goes through this. I'm new to it. I mean, not now, but I mean, it's when all that stuff went down, and all that stuff I put out the other day on a video, I said, well, nobody made anybody do these things or say these things or feel this way. And I'm not a psychiatrist, and I'm a pretty good guesser though. I mean, I can figure things out quicker than most people when it comes to you know these kind of things. Now, I'm not a good speller. My wife said, "Well, you used to be good in school." Yeah, because that was certain words, you know, and over time, like I said, if I'm not, you know, in school anymore, so I don't really, there's stuff that I don't pay attention to, you know, don't know their team names and don't spell them. It's not an everyday thing for me. So there's no shame in that. I mean, I'm always going, to be the person that I am, but no, I'm not going to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. I don't read books. I don't spell stuff. My spelling words were something most people could have asked anybody to spell and would know them. And the bonus word usually was the hardest word we had, and that was bonus credit or whatever. But but like I said, it and at the time when I was in school, yeah, I tried to do the best I could do. But even the simplest of words could make me misspell it, or you could sound it out, say it a different way. I have an accent, just like all of us do. And you think it's spelt one way, and it's actually spelt something else or another way. So again, sometimes letters are silent, and you don't hear them, and they're just thrown in there. And you get words like that. When I was in school, yeah, I seen them. And they tested me, and even though I didn't spell it all the way right, I got within one or two letters most of the time, having it right. So I mean, whether it was I put one too many or whatever, so I mean, but I know that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we live in this world now that we live in, and you know, going back and you know, if I was going to go back and do something that I already had my stuff into, that already tried out, already I don't know what Derek gets, family and all that stuff. I get it, but again, is anybody getting any younger? No, everybody's getting older. Like I said, that's why I said it was temporary fix. And I understand that some people are just going to be pushy and all that, and they'll say, "Oh, I don't mean it that way." Well, I don't either, but I want something that lines up according to what me and my wife's comfortable with, and I want something that we can share ourselves being happy with. Nobody's going to go back behind our back 5 minutes later and somebody say, "Oh, this person," you know, that's a hard person to find. Somebody that you can get um, that would you know be there and do things the way you want them done. I if I had something to pick from, I told my wife it's one of these dating shows. If it was a, I don't know, karaoke bar nearby, if there was some place where you could go where there'd be crowds of people, and Derek, you don't get out enough. Well, I know I don't. Ain't no secret, but ain't nowhere to go. And when I'm out, it's like my wife's knowledge. Yesterday when I was sitting over here, yeah, I agree. That's why I said. That's why I put in the video. When I'm out, you're not out. Every time she's out doing one of my errands, I hear her text me or voice text me and, oh, somebody did this, somebody said that. And then they start talking, all that personal talk. And then they get her, and she's tried that. When people's actually started their own personal talk, and for some reason, when they sitting in the car, they can't just drive you on home if they felt like that's what they wanted to do. I've had to cut it out because I'm afraid of the people that's going to start that mess again, And from what I know, I think old Tammy and them's kind of upset at me down there at the Dollar Tree. Well, I can't help it. I didn't ask, my wife did not ask for you to do that. I did advise her to leave the store immediately. After she gets in there, don't be jaw-jacking and talking too much. That's what got my grandmother in trouble. That was one of her big faults. And I said this last night to my wife. It's one of her my grandmother's big faults. Same thing with a lot of people. They talk too much. I don't talk enough. You'd say, well, Derek, it sounds like on these videos you do more talking than most. Yeah. Most of the time I do. When I'm on a video, I don't mind to do it. But when she's brought me something in here and tried to make it look like it's all a bunch of, oh, Derek, you'll like this. Oh, that whole deal. And, oh, it's all shiny. It's all rainbowed up. It's all good in the hood. Well, then it don't take me, you can ask my wife, it didn't take me 5 minutes to find something that we either missed or didn't do right. And therefore, we paid the price. We've had our fair share of that, And I can't guarantee her, like I've said before, I can't guarantee me or her, either one, that we'll end up with somebody. But this somebody, if they're out there, they know about the deal, they know about the stuff and all the things that's in it, and what's in it, and it's all out there. It's all right here. I mean, this ain't the only reason we're on here, but I'm just saying that because I watch stuff too, listen to some Cornette and, watch a couple of the videos, check up on the wrestling news or whatever. But, the main reason that, we've had hope, because you hear about people having YouTube channels and you hear about people going out. And like I said, I've acknowledged, it's just normal. No, it's not a normal thing to do. I wouldn't think. But again, my family can't put themselves in our shoes. My wife's family don't understand. Anybody she's hung around don't understand. Yeah, we're supposed to sit there and play Dr. Phil and, with her girlfriends and all that stuff, and I don't have time for it. They don't live nowhere nearby. That's why I wish I never heard of them. Because I told my wife that was the worst thing. Because they didn't have cars, they didn't have anything, And I'm a fixer-upper when it comes to, and my wife knows this, when it comes to, tell them what they should be doing. I can think of somebody right now. I mentioned out here before, and I talked to that man's brother out there. I told him, I said, if you and the family care about her, you need to take and set her butt down there and straighten her up. I said, because if she keeps going down that same road that she's been going down, then she's not going to last. And but like I said, now that person's got a house, got all her stuff together. Now she's got a car and all that stuff now. And all that. But I never liked being around people. I'm not that comfortable about it. Oh, Derek, that's going to shoot you in the foot. No. Not if you're the right person. But I don't like being around large crowds. I don't like playing second fiddle to everybody else. No more. Whether it's this, a job, or anything else. I don't want anybody over me. Tell me what to do, boss me around, and tell me that, because they treat me like I don't know what I'm doing and all this stuff, and they think they gotta, overdo their authority of whatever their position is, and they think because they have that say that they don't have to come and tell you nothing or whatever. And then when they do tell you, they've already decided on it, and then it's too late to talk about it and figure out if there was another compromise that could have been made. Like I said, Hardee's, for example. Compromise could have been reached had they cared enough about me to come to me and just say, hey, we need to talk. Didn't do that. They text me out of the boss over there, used to be over. She texted me. I said, hey, Dorica, it's just so-and-so. And I said, and everything. And she told me that they're going to lay me off. I said, well, that's the worst thing you could do to somebody. Well, Dorica, it's my stuff. Well, I could have done the parking lot. Could have done, could have, done whatever they would have had me do outside. Hey, an hour would be an hour, right? I could have went home after that if they wanted me to. But my God, cut me out cold turkey and not pay me. Lay everybody else off. And that's nothing. Oh, what was her? Oh, God, Beverly. Yeah, and she's like, well, when I got real upset, she's like, Derek, calm down, all this stuff. I was pissed. I'm not in everybody else's shoes. Why and how am I supposed to care about somebody that I don't have any feelings for and don't hang around? It ain't my problem. I just know from where I'm at and where my wife's at, that hurt. That little bit of could have got me and my wife some groceries. It's been nice to have gotten out and got to go out to eat a little bit. But all of that's coming because they couldn't behave. Even after they brought me back, and I didn't ask to be brought back. But, and I was a little bit hesitant in coming back. But, everything's just gotten out of hand with everything nowadays, and it seems like the only thing I'm good at is making decisions that hurt them. That they and a lot of them they say, "Oh, I regret ever meeting him." Well, I regret ever meeting you too, if that's how you feel. Whoever that might be that's met me out here, because you're wasting our time on stuff that you don't have no intentions of doing. And like I said, nobody can help when they meet me. I'd be willing to meet somebody if they're good. Derek, what if they've had kids? What if they, they best not, because we've been down that road. It ain't mine. What ain't mine, I don't deserve. I don't need. I don't need it. It does nothing for me. I can't, that goes into the whole, I'm just supposed to sit here and be mute, not say nothing. Just supposed to, I reckon, I could go outside or something. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want somebody else's kids and somebody else's stuff. It's already all jumbled up. And I'm just saying from my experiences, if I was going to someone else's house, I'd want to be a good boy and a good child, not running around screaming with my head cut off. But that's why I said that If I drew it up perfect, and I've said this before, if I drew this up perfect like I wanted to, this person knows she's out there somewhere. And she knows exactly who she is and where she's at. She might not have seen me yet, or my wife's videos, or stuff we put out on social media and stuff. But they know who they are. And the only thing, like I said, yeah, it does suck to have to wait a little bit. But if there is anything out there, they know who they are. And that person knows she's the fit. Now, we'd all be sitting here saying, well, why couldn't this come sooner? Why not? I don't know. Like I said, you take anybody that my wife threw out here, I wish I met them 5 or 10 years sooner. Maybe I could have jumped in there and could have helped then. Maybe those people's heads wouldn't have been crammed up so many things ass, you know. And I could have helped with some things, depending on the person and who they are and whatever. Like I told my wife, I've told her this a million times, you can't go by somebody saying, oh yeah, I know y'all Facebook. Just cause they saw your picture or they may have said something a time or two and maybe it takes for 5 minutes, but as my wife knows, you can't trust that. I mean, come on, this ain't 5-year-old stuff. This is, grown people. We just didn't check everything out when we've had those opportunities and we didn't see what was what. That's why it's come back to bite us in our own ass. I should have known better. And I should have known better and let my wife go up there at these apartments. I'm regretting that every day now because that was just a waste. That's why I said we had to cut everybody out. And I'm not guaranteeing that anything else will ever come. Because like I said, everybody died. When I got rid of the old Susan crack whore thing, now she's got all them mad. All them are in an uproar because I couldn't play Dr. Phil the way they want me to. I'm just going to sit here and listen to her ramble on about all her problems and all her crap. I thought, like I said, at first glance of it, I guess because we had a while, we didn't have anything after the Kerry Walker thing. And I thought my wife knew what she got into, but apparently, as she always finds out, and I find out, there's always something else that you didn't know about them or didn't care too much to ask to find out, and that's usually what turns out to be the death knell. And yeah, I can't. Well, my wife asked me something other, and just last night when I cut my toenail, she does that for me. But I had to tell her. I said, "Look, honey, you're gonna get upset. You're gonna, stuff's not gonna help you any, And I told her. I said, "Look, I know what me and her is like. Like I said, I know what we want. I know what we're trying to get to. But I'm not going to get there going back into stuff I've already been through, and people that already know what they're going to do. I know what they're going to say. I know they're going to go behind my back and say stuff behind my back. My grandmother does that all the time. And somebody say, well, it's been a while. Well, like I said, I'm not her. I don't have her car. I don't have her body. I don't have anything on her. Never. She's wanted me up there for all those years. She said that to the judge. She went up to the courthouse, her and Dot and Danny went up to the courthouse. He got visitation on weekends, and I was doing stuff up here. Had school to go to. If anybody, I'll be mad at all this foolishness. That'll be me. I was the one that stuck in the middle of it. I was bought gifts. I was give money. I was took out to eat. Even my wife and I got stuff when when we didn't ask for it, dinners. She said, "What about going out? You remember KFC stuff and Golden Corrals and all that?" Yeah, I had nothing to do with that. Did I appreciate it? Yeah, but not now. I mean, coming from the person that wanted to go out and play bingo, my old grandmother sitting there entertaining everybody else's stuff like I said. That was always her problem. Way back when I was young, I knew this. It just wasn't as bad. I mean, you could see it, and it would happen. She'd just run, or she'd have a habit of somebody just coming up in the store, or sitting out there in a parking lot. She couldn't even, these dang people would come out of nowhere. And she got to where at one time, I remember my wife couldn't go do her stuff at the thrift store without my grandmother going, "Oh, make sure you write this down. Make sure you put a tablet. Uh, uh, see what she. We'll see what I want to know what she's doing because she's got people like that and still does. Don't sit there and fool me. Oh, well, if I'm to believe, and I'm gonna get there, I got to get some of this out. I mean, it's gonna take me a little while. But this person that claims to love me and has my best interest, or my wife's best interest at heart, really is only if you sit down and think about it. It's only what they want, and they're not looking out for. Yeah, are we going to stumble? Are we going to fall a few times? Right? But that's why I said if I had to pick out the best person that never did me wrong, yeah, we made up a few times, but my dad's as closest thing as I could come to saying anything I had to say. We said it, we worked it out. Very few times. They wasn't a whole lot, but there's a few. And you know, but that's why it was easier for me to forgive my dad versus the gospel that I call her. And now apparently she's going around telling everybody that will listen, "Oh, I don't do this. I only go to the store and get Papa's medicine and I only get him about out to eat or whatever." Oh, baloney. Come on. Now, okay, well, Derek, maybe it's true. Well, again, if you'd been sitting there like I was watching her get in this freaking car and go to all these places, red hats, flea markets, yard sales, not so much in her later years, yard sales, but I mean, um, when I was growing up, that was a thing. You couldn't get her out of there. And then old Terry, yeah, there was times that she'd offer to take me, and she wanted to go, and most time I went. There's a few times she said, "Hey, you want to go here?" She gave me a choice. She said, "Hey, do you want to go to Dots?" I said, "Hey, yeah, it'd kind of be nice to go get to see old Dot. And so I went over there and Doc shoot the bullshit up there, and everything was fine. But when and everybody wants to point at, "Whoa, Derek, the reason they're saying they're acting like this is because they lost a couple people." What duh? Everybody loses somebody, right? Well, we've got a timer on us. Do we know when it's going to end? No. If we did, we'd all be trying to find a way to spend as much time with whoever we wanted to. But that doesn't mean you go out here and put on another phase and try to tell me that's why you act like that, and that you all of a sudden want to get to know my wife. I told my wife last night it wouldn't have mattered who I brung in the door. And yeah, we're a married couple, wanting a third person to spend our life with and spend most of our time with. I never said that was going to come between the family. That's what they put in their own head. That's where it's coming out. As they thought I was doing that to get rid of them. And it's exactly the opposite because they were the ones saying to me that they didn't want anything to do with me on a full-time basis or even a part-time basis. I was the one who, when Granny and all them wanted me to get out of the store within 30 minutes or something, or she's going down and she said, well, I gotta get home. I gotta go feed my dogs, my cats, and the whole 9 yards. Like I said, they wasn't a cat one up there when I lived up there for 15 years, and don't dare say it was cause of me. They had nothing to do with me. Jason and them I was out there picking up strange dogs and bringing them up there. Grandmothers and stuff, trying to, because she's a dog lover, she likes pets and all that stuff. Well, that's the thing. Like I said, but there wasn't a cat one up there. There was a couple of chickens and roosters and things of that nature. Dogs, but there wasn't no cats or nothing. And, like I said, I miss my old days. I miss my kid days. I miss, until I got in my early 20s. That's when I knew stuff was going to hit the fan. I knew things were going to change. I was bought presents at the yin yang every time I turned my head. I was doing this or getting compliments every once in a while. My mom, I forgot to bring this up, but my graduation gift from her was some old freaking coin with my name on it and the year I graduated and that whole deal. And my dad, he's like, I don't know what this is, but your mom bought it. And I opened it up in front of him, and he did not know what to think. Now I'm not one that say, "Well, do I deserve a gift for graduating?" No, I never said that. But of all the things you couldn't, a little bit of money might have been a lot better than just buying an old coin. They don't tell them what that coin cost. Because do I want to remember all that stuff I was with? Half the time I got picked on. But when I got picked on, I always got them back too. So I don't even have that coin anymore. I didn't want it. Same thing with my class ring. The first person I met, I gave that thing away. And I didn't want it. I only did shut people up. Guys like, oh, you're gonna regret this. Why couldn't I have went on prom? Because who I live with, right? They're gonna tell you if one of them saw the video, or one of you out here that knows these people saw this video, that you go and tell them, oh, he's saying it this way. They go and tell you right the opposite when I know what I'm telling you is the exact truth. Like I said, if I'd wanted to go to prom or give a crap about it then and wanted to have a relationship with somebody, I was always been put on the back burner. Poor old Connie, even though I had my ins and outs with her toward the end there, who knows if my grandmother had just straightened up and went up there and gave her and her people the time of day, like she wanted me to do for somebody I didn't know. She brung in the house. That's what I'm saying. Papa's a little bit too nice. My granny that's why that's why the other day I made that video. I said, she's the reason I'm on blood pressure pills now. Because she entertains other people. She sits there and talks too long. Like I said, there's word going around, she ain't doing that now. Well, I can't help that. That's not my worries anymore. She didn't want me around, so I told my wife, I said, well, when I finally pulled the plug on it and I meant what I said, now Now they realize I actually mean it, and that's why it's biting them in their butt. And it hurts them. Well, it didn't hurt them too bad to keep going back and forth and browbeating my wife and I. I said it got to where I couldn't even sit in the car. I couldn't even get in the car. I was and Derek. They said they just don't understand. They understand. I've explained everything. It's just that because it wasn't something that they wanted to get their hands into, and because it was something that uh, didn't fit their narrative, or it didn't fit their beliefs, their religious beliefs, or why would they want to throw? Well, we're handicapped. God damn, we're not getting anything out of being around you except hearing your latest thing that you want to talk about, gossip, and you feel free to go tell everybody our business. So now I'm putting you out here. That's why family will never see me again. I have respect for a few of them, but it's very few and far between. I give up Darren. I give up everybody. I told Mark I was nice to Mark, and I saw his kin in there. The last time I saw him, I told him in a few words, I said, if you don't see me anymore at family gatherings or any kind of things they throw, I don't know how they throw them, I don't care. I let him know why. Because my grandmother was mistreating me and my wife, and it's not right. I understand my wife has a big heart, but sometimes, and I used to too for some of these people. But over the years, I didn't get nowhere near the, like I said, Dixie, JC, Uncle Jason, and Regina, Melissa, everybody got to do all the things they want to do. Nobody ever, uh, nobody ever stopped them or right. I mean, my wife's been with me 11 years. She didn't see everybody, and I didn't see all of her people get married either. But I'm just saying, nobody I never heard anybody say, "Oh, don't bring him up here. Don't do this. Don't do that." But old Derek wants to go out there and make me and my wife happy for once and hope that something good comes along. Yeah, I've had a few times where my wife's reached out there, or I've done something for somebody, and and got burned. That it don't feel good, but you have to get burned a few times before the right thing comes along. Like I said, this whole thing was a big misunderstanding when it was brought to my attention. Yeah, it would hurt my heart for all the wrong reasons. That my grandmother apparently is going around telling my wife all this stuff now because she knows, and I could see her doing it because I saw her do it. And she, like I told my wife, I'll tell you the last time I ever saw my grandmother. It's the same day my wife was with me. She asked me in front of the fucking pig. She asked me if I'd give her money for shoes. And again, we talked about it. Well, what's the big deal? Well, it is a big deal when you consider that, number one, she never asked for money for shoes in the past. She always ordered them out of a specially made magazine that had my type of shoes, the Velcro ones, where I wouldn't have to tie. She actually stooped to that, and I knew. And this ain't what, a little over 2 years ago. I mean, I could not believe she stooped that low. And I'm like, that is not Granny talking. That is her in the flesh, but that is not the Granny I know. Now, if we hadn't been in such bad terms and hadn't had these things go down like she talking bad about my dad when he's sitting there laying in his casket. And that bothered me too. Her sitting there, oh, I didn't get my way. I wanted Derek and them to go with Daddy and have, you know, sitting there telling all these people that will listen to her. My wife was there. I happened to overhear it. I don't know whether she heard it or not, but I overheard Granny. I wasn't too far from her. And saying all these people that will, oh, I didn't get my way. I wanted Derek and Jessica to have Daddy. I wanted some of this. I wanted them to have time with him so I can go out and do all this, basically do all this other stuff that I want to go do. Now she says she's sorry. Well, my patience is worn thin. I have a short fuse as it is on certain things and have things I want done a certain way because of the way I was raised up, such as drinking, the smoking, and the drugs, and the whole 9 yards. Like I told my wife, I ain't going to hold a gun to your head if you smoke a little bit. If you're nice enough to go outside, if you were our bestie and you smoked a cigarette with a little something once in a while, if that's something you can't, for some reason, you know, can't help, I ain't gonna beat you over the head with it. I'll compromise there. If you drunk once on a special occasion or something, and you didn't just get severely drunk on Derek and my wife over here, if you didn't get severely drunk on us and start acting a fool and you're just a respectful drinker, like I said, there's all kinds of other stuff you can drink besides doing that. Just like the legalization of marijuana is like the biggest bunch of bullshit I ever heard in my life. Next thing you know, it'll be cocaine and everything else under the sun. But no, all I do is I get on here and I'm either making a video, watching TV, playing my games on the computer. I have no reasons to sit here and make up a story whether I know somebody or I don't. I can't help it. Somebody that maybe comes out here and puts on front for my wife, even over the phone, and says, oh, he didn't do this or he didn't do that right. Well, I know I did. I showed her one last night. I've been at this for 4 years now. And, you know, and I had hoped, you know, that maybe we could end up with somebody. I'm still hopeful, but, you know, it's looking slim and slim. But, you know, it only takes one. And, you know, if she's somebody who can relate or has been through this and is somewhere in her mid-20s or 30s or something, and like I said, we were hopeful for somebody that liked sports a little bit, you know, somebody we could go do something with and watch movies with, hug, kiss them, cuddle up with them, something like that too. We don't want to feel like we're just looking at you from afar and not being able to be ourselves. We're really good, nice people, but I just can't, you know, I gotta feel like me and her's making the right choices, and if this next person, whoever she winds up to be, is somebody that knows that we're not after your money. We're not after, you know, we don't care if you've got a car or if you got a job or whatnot. That's not necessarily the point. The point is, the less people that you socialize with, as far as what our offer pertains to, the easier it will be on us. If you've got a nice parent or two, or a nice 2 or 3 friends or something, I'm not going to beat you over the head with it if you want me or my wife to meet them. But what I don't like is when people absolutely have to go and they feel like they have to go tell them every time that we're trying to get to know somebody. That's happened to us. We just had it happen over a year ago. They feel like they just want, oh yeah, y'all can come down here anytime. I'm down here at so-and-so's, you know, and all this stuff. And it never is a good idea in my view. If my wife and I were having somebody here and we presented them with this offer, I'd like to think we could take a couple of months or a couple of weeks or whatever it needed to be to just get to know that person. No kids, no, no exes hanging around, no men, nothing. I mean, if they had a bestie of their own that was real nice and sweet, I might even take that. Me and my wife might, if it worked out. That was part of it or something. If it was nice. I mean, we had a time or two where once on the internet, Facebook, where something came out of the blue and something like that happened. But again, my grandmother went through all the trouble. And I want to say this because I didn't put this in the other video. Apparently, my wife said that Granny blames Regina, my Aunt Regina, for her going up there and getting a lawyer involved and all that stuff. Well, I'm going to tell you my thoughts about that. We met the person off the internet. Did we get to meet her in person? No, but that was the goal. I don't have pictures of this person anymore, but she came out of the blue on her own. I was commenting on the Braves or the wrestling or something on Facebook 4 years ago, minding my own business, and she wrote me this long message. Carrie Walker did, and she was 30 at the time, and she was trying to raise funds to help her bestie. And she was trying to help with, stuff that, she needed some stuff for her surgery. Or after surgery, she needed some meds or something to help her, her treatments or whatever she had to have if she was going to still stay alive. I guess chemo or whatever it was. I don't know. I forget what she went in there for. I don't think it was cancer, but I'm just saying, just as an example. But that is a thing that she had to have done, and she ended up passing away due to this, Carrie Walker trusting an ad on Facebook or any social media site for that matter. I wouldn't trust them with nothing. I like to never. I mean, I lost $3,000. Me and my wife did over time. Yeah, we got it paid back eventually, like I said in the other video that I made the other day. And because of the virus stuff, the stimulus checks and stuff came out, and that was, the government. That's like pulling the government's teeth out. As they felt like they had to loan you a couple of $1,000 or whatever it was. It nearly killed them. And but anyway, like I said, but we've got a nice, neat little offer here, and we're not going to be racist of color or prejudiced against your beliefs or whatever on your religious stuff or whatever. We could find some way to compromise with that. Even though, I'm not a big church person. I preferred, like I said, I'm not big on libraries and things of that nature. Even when I'm in the doctor's office, I don't, unless my wife's there with me, I don't hardly speak. I try to mind my own business. Last time I was in a doctor's office, there was somebody in there asking me about, a seizure and how do you deal with it? I guess he had never, as an older guy, he was just wondering. He asked me if I had seizures, and I was like, well, I told him, I said, I ain't had one since I was 2 years old. I just come here for precaution. But anyway, so again, unless somebody talks to me, I try not to butt in and try not to go up to people and just rudely interrupt them. But if they want to make their time my time, I'm here to listen. But I was told my wife, I don't expect anybody out here, to do anything. I don't expect anybody in my family to do anything. Like I said, I was just doing what I was told. And I came up with the option to just throw it all away. Well, we all got a ticker and a timer on us, so if somebody's tired of you, what do? You just throw it away. You just, hey, maybe it's best that me and my wife, just do our thing and leave everybody alone, because, nobody understands what it would mean and how much it would mean. Yeah, it's supposed to make you happy. What are we supposed to do? Make it sad? Or are we supposed to just, you know, of course, we're not going to lie. Yeah, it would make us happy if we found that person or if they found us. But again, it's not guaranteed with this stuff. And I know this. And, like I said, sometimes I have my heart. My wife has her heart in the right place. But, and we know what we're looking at trying to get to and where we'd like to see things going. But with our budget and our situation as a whole and things that I've mentioned on this video, it just ain't possible, And I'm not going to be out there, out in big crowds, talking to every strange person that comes to me. But I'm always here if there's somebody that would freely come up and they want to start talking. If that's them and they're nice enough to me or my wife, okay. I'm always here to listen. But all I seem to get is people that I don't like and people that make these silly comments. I either can't read on this thing or or halfway. I've had some or one or two say, "Oh, I hope you get this," or and that's nice. And and I've had a few, come out here and watch pieces of my video or not the whole thing, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you take this down? Why don't you do this? Why don't y'all take y'all's own videos down?" I do this for entertainment. It gives me something to do. Is it the truth? Yeah. But I do it just to give me something to do. Or my wife when she wants to come out and talk on video. And she gives me something to do. Might even help a few people out there. You have your own button. Mine's easier to push than some people's. But at the same time, if you were to take all the times I have given my family, which has to be over 100 chances by now, I mean, you can't blame me. I'm a grown adult now, and I just don't see me fitting in stuff I've already tried. I don't do that to my old school friends. I don't do that to my family, my wife's family, or nothing else. Yeah, her family acts like they took a damn. They act like they're on weed or something. The way they go around. Oh, they think we're just making things up and they think that everything's a game or Derek, see how they forget. Yeah, they want you. They put on a show for everybody. That's what they do. Like a lot of the people do. And they're in the same boat as my family is. All a bunch of married couples. Got a bunch of goddamn kids running around, and now they're all grown up. Oh, Derek, it makes everything different. And it just makes me not want to be around it. I don't want anything to do with it. Nothing. My wife's people don't mean anything to me as they didn't treat me the same way that she thought I guess she had in her mind they were going to do. I don't know what she thought they was going to do for me. I didn't expect nothing. I'll tell you right now, I'm not a people person at all. I didn't want if they gave me a choice whether to go there or not, I would have said I'd probably rather stay home, watch my TV, play my games, listen to my own music. Fuck Johnny Cash. Listen to that. Tell me that's all they listen to. That's a bunch of bullshit. Because even I can't help but go in the store and hear what's playing on. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like me saying, "Well, Derek, I always get my music on the radio." No, I don't. I don't always. I've been to places where they've played stuff I don't like or don't listen to much, or some of it's new junk. Depends on what doctor's office you go in or what store you go in. Like Hardy, sometimes they play this stuff I ain't never heard it at all. And then there'd be a song or two comes on from when I was a a kid and like, and then they'd play. Just like I said, it just depends. But no, I mean, it'd be nice to be able to give somebody a helping hand or lend them if there's somebody out there you could actually do that stuff with. But nobody seems to as of right now doesn't seem to be serious enough. So again, I'm just gonna leave it at that because there ain't much more I can put out here. That I had a few things I thought of when I was on here talking, but this is basically a part two of the other video that I made the other day. Kind of wanted to, as I got to talking, got to thinking of a few other things, but we just got to remind ourselves we got to be careful. I tell my wife that I'm a firm believer in doing things in person. If I can do that, it does help me a lot more if I could see somebody in person versus somebody sitting behind one of these phones or one of these dang, social media sites. Like I told her, I can't help it. 12 years ago, I was able to make, or 13, 14 years ago, whatever, during that 2 or 3 year period, I met a few people offline when I seen them. And I was able to go somewhere. I got to go a story that I haven't put out on the other video yet, and I hadn't done this in a while, but I went to a J-Fest thing, and it was a Christian festival. Is it something I was into? No, but, just for the fact that, they offered it to me, and her friend was going with her and all that stuff. I mean, they offered me to go, and so I took it. That is a one-time deal, and I was outside Tennessee for the first time. If you want to count, this was in Chickamauga, Georgia. It was close. So I've been out one time, outstate Tennessee, just a little bit. So, nowadays you can't just give your number to somebody and expect them not to bring up cards, money, and all that stuff. Like I said, there ain't no lies here. There ain't no cards here. There ain't nobody here to hold you back. That's why I said I would like somebody within a few minutes of us so we could go to and from, like I told my wife. It'd be a lot easier. I ain't saying you have to stay over here all the time and spend nights every day because it's not possible because we rent. But and stuff, and we'd have to, in the long run, we'd have to get to know you and hope that you had a place you could go and had a place and all that. Because if you didn't, we'd all have to move out and make it quick. So we can't have this stuff. Like we thought we might be able to, because the landlord and stuff, and they're old fashioned and all that stuff, and so anyway, but no, it is what it is. So, it's like I said, the offer's out there. You can just watch a couple of these videos, recent ones, and you'll see what we're talking about. There's no need going over it again. We've told you where we're at. So if there's somebody out there, well, you better get to doing it because, like I said, like my wife said, every day that goes by, I've been telling her this, and she's starting to see what I'm saying. Every day that goes by is one less that you'll get with this offer. So you better make it quick. But anyway, if you're in Decatur, Tennessee, or Athens, or somewhere nearby, we'd be more than happy to do something, and we don't have to give you all the stuff right away or whatever. We can take time out and get to know you and all that stuff. Like I got to know my wife. I got about 2 or 3 weeks. No family coming around. Nobody really bothering us. I mean, they can't, her mom at the time first started, she came around once a week or something like that, but it wasn't bad. And she didn't care about me anyway. She didn't want to meet me or nothing. The wife brought me up. She didn't want nothing to do with me. Um, but that's her choice. Like I said, that's her choice. Uh, my wife, like I said, she told me, "Oh, Derek, I used to like your stuff. I used to like your movies, your music, and all that stuff." It just changed. Everybody changed. I won't change my music for nothing. I grew up what I grew up on. You either gonna like it or you'll have to go. My music means a lot to me. It's a passion. I like to do some singing every once in a while. I like to listen to my music. I like a lot of different varieties, country, classic rock, and so on. I mean, there's something in a genre about every genre except for classical and all that. The stuff that's really I don't listen to that has no words to it. If it's Ric Flair stuff, a wrestling theme or something, and it just happens to be in classified as jazz or classical, okay. But it's an instrumental thing I've heard, and I'm familiar with, but I don't get knee deep in it. So anyway, you know, uh, if you're out there, just come on. Like I said, our numbers are out there. We've put them out there before. Like I said, Texas first with picture and all that good stuff, and then we'll call or whatever we have to do if we have to. But or you can come by up here. Like I said, we've had video out there before, a couple of them where I went over this. So anyway, if you're out there, you know what to do. We'll talk later.